One evening late in August of 2017, one of the most well-known TV reporters in Bolivia, Jimena Antelo, presented the shocking story of Tomasita Machaca. Tomasita revealed that she was kept as a domestic servant since the age of 15. She did not receive salaries, was unfamiliar with money, was not allowed to leave the home, was occasionally beat up, did not go to school, had no medical attention, and was bound to believe that all of her family members were dead. She got sick, and her slaveholders took her to the hospital. She had varicose ulcers on a leg, and the cheapest way to cure her was to amputate her leg. Her owners gave the doctor authorization to do it, and she was frightened and escaped. She found her family members, and she is now seeking justice. The story of Tomasita was among the top news developments for over a month. The fact that a woman was being held as a slave for 38 years was horribly shocking to Bolivian citizens. This case of modern slavery was told on TV and newspapers directly by the victim. Unfortunately, domestic service is one of the many types of modern slavery in Bolivia. Other forms of slavery present include child slavery, human trafficking, sexual exploitation, and labor exploitation. It is important to note that Tomasita became a slave at age 15, making her a victim of child slavery as well. Child slavery is one of the most heartbreaking kinds of slavery. Children are forced to be thieves, beg for money on the streets, donate their organs, and produce drugs. Some children are trafficked to Argentina and sold for as little as $300. Examples of human trafficking and sexual exploitation in domestic service include when women are trafficked to work as prostitutes or home servants in Europe, the United States, certain South American countries, or Japan. In labor exploitation, human beings are forced to work without being paid. Examples of this in human trafficking include when men are sent to places like Argentina and Brazil to work in mines, agriculture, and factories. One of the remaining questions is, how did the Almonte family manage to capture and hold Tomasita hostage for 38 years? One of the most revealing aspects of this case is that Bolivians became aware that anyone can be a slaveholder regardless of their age, appearance, gender, and economic condition. A standard way of obtaining slaves is by creating a company that advertises jobs that claim to pay a massive amount of money. The person believes them and the slaveholder captures the person. These fake organizations hand out flyers outside schools, universities, and institutes. Slaveholders can also enslave people by getting them to meet in certain places through social media and texting. Yet another form of gaining slaves is by kidnapping. Once they imprison people, they take future slaves' passports and documents away to prevent them from leaving the country. For the Bolivian public, it is very difficult to believe that slavery is taking place in the Calacoto neighborhood, one of the most well-known middle-upper-class neighborhoods in La Paz. In fact, after doing some research, we found some worrying numbers. Bolivia is one of Latin America's countries with the most cases of slavery each year per capita. About 46,900 individuals are living in the horror of slavery. Also, slavery is increasing by 20% each year. 65% of the cases remain unsolved, and 73% of the victims are kids or teenagers. 6 out of 8 of these people are never found again. Bolivia currently has a Tier 2 watch list ranking. This means that the country is attempting to fight slavery, but slavery is still increasing. The story of Tomasita Machaca has not only created awareness and empathy in our country, but shed light on a pressing issue that needs to be immediately addressed. Institutions such as the Servicio Plurinacional de Asistencia a la Víctima have been giving support to Tomasita. News coverage of Tomasita show that this and other institutes have provided her with a new job in medical and psychological care. Law 263 gives the government obligation to aid slavery victims found in the Bolivian territory. Article 281 of the law says that the slaveholder will receive 10 to 15 years of imprisonment if the victim has been threatened, sexually exploited, forced pregnancy, has faced labor exploitation, has been taken to other countries to work, or has had their organs extracted to sell them. Punishment would increase by 1/3 if weapons, drugs, or medicines were involved. The penalty is from 15 to 20 years when the victim is a kid, teenager, person with difficulties, or has faced severe injuries. Sadly, the national government sometimes fails to provide help and resources to victims because authorities have not invested the appropriate resources needed under the 2012 Anti-Trafficking Law No. 263. As a result, Bolivia cannot investigate every slavery case appropriately. Bolivia is currently the 28th nation with the largest proportion of slavery in its population. In this country, some NGOs, such as Mans Unides, are working with Asociación para el Campesino Indígena del Oriente Bolivariano to help prevent sexual exploitation and child labor. They give lectures to women on how to defend themselves from sexual assault and are making significant efforts to convince authorities to ban child labor. These NGOs want to ban child labor because 21% of children between 5 and 14 years old currently work. 77% of these kids are not even paid since they are helping family members. Now, Tomasita is working, and Bolivians are relieved to see her slowly but surely reinsert herself into society. However, the positive outcome in the story of Tomasita should only be the beginning. As Bolivians and members of society, we can donate money to organizations against slavery and use social media to create awareness about and oppose slavery. For instance, we always need to make sure we know that everything we buy is being made under good working conditions. Students, on their part, can organize anti-slavery clubs in schools to be able to earn money and donate it to the fight against slavery. People in general always need to be attentive everywhere they are, and if they suspect slavery, they should denounce it to authorities. The shocking experience of learning about Tomasita's story on TV will hopefully inspire many citizens to be proactive and take action against slavery in Bolivia.